stuff. This is how the boat looks. But of course, I started cleaning it up and coming around this way. But Merry Christmas. For those of you who don't know, a lot has been happening. Um, I was originally anchored out in the bay next to Lord's Island, about 150 yards out, and someone cut my anchor line. So I am now here, which is right on Lord's Island, which is awesome. And I have been doing my best. The Coast Guard said I was fine, and the projects were coming together. I did a lot of research, trying to do everything the right way. You know, you count the cost. I hadn't solicited for any funds. I've been, you know, doing everything on my own time and praying and walking in faith and trying to do due diligence and make sure that I did everything the right way. And I've been here since Friday before Father's Day. And it was kind of wild because a friend that lives across the ICW that brings me duck eggs said that on Father's Day, 2 days later, that lightning had struck right where I was anchored before. So God protected me. So it's kind of cool that even though it was a strange scenario, I found out that somebody cut my anchor line. But you know, storms come and go, and you let go of things. You don't always understand why certain things happen. But anyway, so this used to be all the property. As you can see, the tree roots extend out. But because of erosion, lost ground. And before I got it, you know, I mean, I'm still in the process. I was hoping to close the first part of January. Anyway, so in this journey, it seems like my faith has been tested like heck. Lots of tests of faith, character building, and I have, anyone who knows me over the years, the last 40 years, I've sown into community outreaches and churches and ministries and whatever, you know, like in bus ministries in New Orleans. We'd go into the projects and sow into kids' lives, and the crime rates would lower, and we would go in Tulsa. I helped with both Church on the Move's outreach to children in low-income areas, and then also Billy Joe Darty's and Sharon's church, Victory, and so we did what we could to help make things better for people. And as a single mom, you know, I sewed into Fellowship of Christian Athletes and was blessed to have programs like that and church and things to, when you're a single mama, you know, it's nice to have support and people encouraging along the way. I mean, sometimes you do what you can do, but it's nice to have positive male role models. I'm really blessed that both of my sons turned out to be honorable men, and I am thankful that I was able to get through that season of my life. And then, so I've always had a heart for people and families and children, and I've ministered to veterans that were suicidal. I've, you know, whoever God brought across my path, I tried to sow into and help as best I could. I mean, I'm only a mama and a grandmama. I got 6 grandbabies, and but you know, if we all do a little bit, it makes a positive difference in the world. And then God gave me this vision for the Arresting Place Retreat Center And so I came out here and had been doing that. If you don't know everything about the area and how the tides and currents and everything work, um, it's not safe for you to bring out anybody else. So I've learned a lot just from being involved with research, so that I'd make sure I did everything the right way. Anyway, so since I've been here, it's I've found out what seasons certain critters are around, and I fed my deer and tried to do what I could do to, it's environmentally friendly, it's Christian, most of the place will remain natural. So to me, I thought I was doing right, and I asked the Coast Guard if my boat was okay here, and they said, "Yeah, it's fine. You're not polluting. You're not in the waterway. I'm right next to the island." And basically, it used to be part of the island, but it's like anybody that has a beach area, waterfront. Sometimes the tide comes in. This it's high right now. It's about 6 inches, 8 inches high. Um, the other day it was 2 inches. You never know, and it's winter, so it's going to be lower. It'll come up higher in April and May, when we have spring rains and things like that. But where I'm going with this is the Fish and Wildlife weren't pleased with me being here, and they didn't say anything to me until mid-September, but that was just before the film festival and everything. And the man couldn't, the lieutenant that told me I was in error and they wanted to give me a citation, said we could meet October 16th, and in between time, I didn't know I would have to have emergency eye retina surgery. And so that was a whole unexpected thing. So I'm about 3, 4 months late on getting things together. And it's semi discouraging, but if you think about it, I don't know about everyone else, but I do know that visionaries, missionaries, creative people, even entrepreneurs that work on things, there's a process, and sometimes you live more humbly than you would normally, possibly, so that you can accomplish the goal. And if you think about it, even people like, who was it? Steve Harvey had been homeless for a season, but he had a gift. He just needed some time to get it together, and people didn't believe in him at first, and he figured it out. And Tyler Perry too, he had to go through some struggles, and so we all have ups and downs, and it's how we handle them and how we face things in order to be able to get through it all. Um, I've been praying, asking God for wisdom, knowledge, understanding, health, wholeness, provision, and praying for my family and friends. And I thank all of you who've supported me and encouraged me along the way, because it definitely has been a challenge. And right now, the Fish and Wildlife, because I couldn't get my boat off it's harder ground now. After the original 60-mile-per-hour winds and um, having my anchor line cut halfway through to where it frayed the rest of the way, and the storm just, I guess it was too strong for my anchor was really strong. I had put the biggest anchor out. I actually didn't even have I didn't use the anchor that was on the vessel. I tied off one to the bow from one of the cleats in order to have a more secure wind. And I was thankful because I had a military special ops guy come out and set it for me. And so I felt confident that I was safe, but you can't help it if someone cuts your line, or if it had failed on its own. I don't know for sure. I just know there's a lot of coincidences. It's really weird. It's like when you don't know people and you're new in any area, sometimes people will judge you, and they don't understand what you're doing, especially when you live alone and I don't know. I'm trying to write and juggle between three projects, and I have had some times when friends came, like my friend from England came and spent some time with me, and a girl from Chicago came, and my son and his wife and the kids came, and my friend Jessica and her four boys came out to visit, and I'll get off the boat and sometimes go help with I volunteered at Caring and Sharing, which is a local great organization that helps people in the community, and Jessica's church in Panama City, the Ark. I'd go over there and I helped cook a few times, and we fed, I don't think it was 125 people for Thanksgiving one year, and then I had the film festival up in North Walton County, in Freeport. The 2021, I had the roundtable brunch at Horsepower Pavilion, and rented the clubhouse at Hammock Bay and the theater there, and that was great, and had some wonderful people come. And I've overcome obstacles with the film festival too, with Hurricane Ian was coming right towards me, and everybody says leave, and cancel, and so I was tempted, but I didn't. I went ahead and rented the historic little church. There's a Point Washington United Methodist Church that's over here by the public boat launch. It's about a block away, and I rented their little Stevens Center, which is kind of like a reception area that's behind the historical church, and had the little meet and greet, and showed some of the footage. And I still wanted to keep going because my heart for the film festival, which eventually will be hosted on Lord's Island, was to give a voice to the voiceless, help encourage filmmakers and people that are making a positive difference in the world. And I even there's different footage that was talking about the health of our bay, and the oysters that used to be harvested around here, not far from here, that now are dying off because of pollution and things like that. So, and it's wild. It's like I lived on a farm when I was younger, at various times, and so I've always liked nature, and I've always liked helping to. I think we should all be good stewards over whatever is around us, and both in nature and families. So it's kind of weird when one person thinks you're crazy because you want to take care of nature, and then the other person thinks you're crazy because you're a Christian and you try to have morals and they don't understand why you don't let men on your boat because don't want to give any appearance of evil. My younger son's a pastor. That wouldn't be very nice anyway. And I'm trying to do everything as honorably as possible. But anyway, so what I'm saying is I've been so busy that I don't know what some of these people think about me, but I've met so many nice people here in South Walton. But when I first came, there was a gentleman that I met at the public boat launch. One of them was very prominent, met me. He drove up. He must have been watching me because come ashore. He met me exactly when I got to the public boat launch, and he asked me, "Who are you and what are you doing out here?" So I answered and I explained. God gave me a vision for a Christian retreat center. I've been working on a book called A Search for Truth, and the retreat center, Resting Place Retreat Center, would host the Emerald Coast Film Festival eventually, once I get a little outdoor theater built, and wanted to do everything in phases. I don't know if you've heard of Financial Peace University, Dave Ramsey, but I just, I've always tried to live within my means. I'm not deep pockets like some people, but it doesn't mean I'm not a good person or trying to do things the right way. I don't mind living without some things. I've got plenty of clothes and you know, my furniture's in storage. I haven't gotten to enjoy the niceties of the home, as much. I had rented a place when I first came to Florida in 2010, and then, of course, the Lord put it on my heart to go to Texas, and I get a sailboat. I restored a sailboat, and because I went in obedience, it was kind of cool. Not only did God give me revelation about the sailboat, you have to watch that video, it's a totally different one. He also had given me opportunities to help. I volunteered at Port, what is it? It's a Texas port ministry in the, oh, what's it called? It's like the Surfside, Freeport area of Texas. And I volunteered at church or, whatever, wherever I am, I always try to volunteer. And I did Turtle Patrol because I like the turtles and I like what they're doing and helping, and ended up writing a Sea Turtle Patrol song. And so that little season of my life, because I went in obedience, I made some new friends. And then God blessed me with Crown Prince, which I wouldn't have even had a clue I was going to end up with. Someone offered me $1 million facility, retreat center. They knew that I wanted to have a retreat center over there. And I said, oh, I really would love to have it. It would be so nice. But God didn't tell me to do it there. He told me to do it in Florida, so I can't bless another ministry with it. Go ahead and bless another ministry with it. So I sowed and didn't take something that would bless somebody that lived there. And then, like I said, once God gave me the boat, I prayed again and I said, all right, Lord, am I in error or am I doing things the right way? If I'm in error, I'll sell everything and go wherever you want me to. And then next thing I know, God provided and gave me favor. A Christian businessman paid for Crown Prince to be hauled from Texas to Florida. And then I started going to church and having little Bible studies there too. Sometimes I always wanted to do a Fishers of Men jam session on the vac, and so my friend Katie and her friends came over and we did a Fishers of Men jam section on the back of my boat when I was in the marina by the shipyard, and that was fun. And then God had showed me her. It actually was her mama, who and dad, who brought me out here the first time and took me around. So the island, and of course I walked on it by myself the first time, but when they brought me, it was kind of wild. I stepped on the property, and they were all talking and visiting, and I stepped over and walked, I don't know, maybe on 100 yards, and everything was quiet. I said, oh Lord, this this is it, isn't it? So I couldn't have gotten here without Crown Prince. I couldn't have done any of this. God gave me the vision. He gave me the vessel. He provided for it to be brought here from Texas to Florida. He protected me during hurricanes and storms. He parked Crown Prince so perfectly that it's still sitting straight up. And I'm doing as much as I can. I'm 68 years young. I'm working as fast as I can, but sometimes it's challenging to keep up a vessel. I mean, every day, it's like if the wind's coming, things like that, you can see. Of course, I wiped off part of it. I'm getting ready to do the other side. But, the boat gets dirty, but I clean it. I keep it clean, and it's my home. It's my ministry spot, my home office, where I've been writing A Search for Truth and planning, and we filmed a few music videos aboard Crown Prince, and I've hosted family and friends, and so, without this vessel, I wouldn't be able to do any of it. So now that Fish and Wildlife is They threatened, if I hadn't met with them, they threatened, or if I didn't sign the paperwork, they, to give me the citation, they said that they were going to put a warrant out for my arrest and take my vessel. And it seems so weird. It's like I'm a U.S. citizen. I don't even have a parking ticket. It's like I made it to 68. I'm not going to start doing things that are not right now. I mean, I'm not perfect, but gee whiz, I'm trying to do everything the best I can. And so it was really weird. And somebody says, "Oh well, don't worry about it. It's only a misdemeanor." It's like I don't even want a misdemeanor. How the heck, I mean, it's like how embarrassing, to even have something on your record when you're trying to do the right thing. But I guess it's the whole thing. That's why in the Bible, in James 1, 2 through 4, that it talks about count it all joy when you're persecuted and all that other stuff. I mean, I guess sometimes people don't understand what you're doing, or they always make you out to be a bad person because you don't do things the way they think you should, or you're not as wealthy as they are, or you. My friend from England said that people that have gotten more wealthy have lost touch with the average person. A lot of times they just judge so fast nowadays, and um, they're not. I don't know. She reads a lot, and she said something about there was um, psychologists talking about all this, and it's sad because somebody even said, "Oh, if it gets too cold." Now, this is somebody I know who is very well-to-do, uh, and she knows me, and she knows I go to church, and I'm a good person. But I was kind of surprised. I've always taken people in, and any of the exchange students or the kids that were my son's friends, college students will know that whenever I was like in Tulsa or somewhere else, anywhere, I've always invited people in, and I've always tried to be a blessing to everyone, and I've helped the homeless and other people. But she could tell me that, oh, well, if it gets too cold, you can just go to a homeless shelter. And I was like, going, wow. It was like, uh, so is that what she thinks of me now? It's like because I have this fish and wildlife issue, and now I'm condemned. So now I know how others who are falsely accused felt. And in the Bible, I think we learn a lot about how life sometimes throws you off, and things happen like this, and how people react. And I mean, at least I'm not Paul and not in jail or something, or I have been like Joseph. My family has stolen my inheritance a few times, and I had to forgive and let go of it, and know that God has a plan, and trust Him, and not lean on my own understanding. And I also can relate to how He went through so many trials, and how you do things for people and they forget you, you know, or they say they're gonna do something and they don't, and so you just love on them anyway and forgive and move forward, and realize that some things happen, and they may have had good intentions originally, but they forgot you, or they chose not to. And I think that it's better just to forgive, keep taking next steps forward, read the Bible and pray, and the Holy Spirit comforts you through trials and tribulations. And I'm rambling a little bit. I hope I didn't go into too many rabbit holes and bored anybody. But anyway, I guess this video is longer than normal, but I just wanted to share what's been going on this last year, and some of the obstacles I faced, and just encourage anyone else that's going through crazy things like this, that don't give up, keep taking next steps forward, and trust the Lord, and realize that there will be blue skies. There's cloudy days, and there's blue skies peeking through everywhere, and we just have to trust God that it'll come together and not get ourselves all worked up. I was pretty stressed out when the Fish and Wildlife showed up at my boat at 8:30 at night to serve me because I'd done everything I could to get the boat off of the. They told me I had an option. I could either get it off of here and move it, anchor it back out, which would put me in danger, or I could totally lift the boat up and put it on the island. Well, that would be about 15 grand, or I have to move it to a marina someplace, and if I do that, that means that I would end up having to commute, and it's already challenging to go back and forth just during different days. I mean, until I get a pontoon boat. I've been trying to do this project a little at a time, so I just have little dinghies. And so when the winds and currents are against you, you should have seen me when I first came. I thought I could just paddle in and out, and I and I did until winds and waves hit so much I had to get out the boat and pull the dinghy to the to the boat because the currents were too strong for me. And then even with a small outboard, what do you call it? Not outboard, but it's a little electric trolling motor. And usually it's pretty good, but this time it was challenging. So I've learned a lot. And I actually, one blessing is that even though it's been challenging, I've lost some weight. I've got healthier. I've had to pace myself because I don't talk about it. I do have a couple of things that have challenged me during my lifetime, but I'm not going to let fibromyalgia or stuff like that destroy my life. You pace yourself and you keep taking next steps forward, and you take a deep breath and do the best you can, and that's what I've done. And I don't know. I just hope this encourages someone else. I have to go to court. The people that I went through the list of things they call an abandoned vessel, derelict vessel. They say it has to be stripped of components. Well, my boat's not stripped of components, and I mean, yes, it's a work in progress. There are some things I'm going to restore on it, and I always wanted to pull the twin 454 engines out and put electric engines. And but the hull is integrity is still good. It's not been abandoned. It's not sinking. It's not sunk. It's my home. One of the guys with the Fish and Wildlife said, "Well, if it was a houseboat, it'd be okay, but not a powerboat." And I'm like going, "Oh gosh." I'm tied to this property. They already double checked and knew that I had been given permission to be here, and talked to both Mr. and Mrs. Matthews, and because I was in the process of preparing, doing the due diligence, preparing for vision gathering, um, like my NFL defensive line coach friend, Carl Dunbar, had Kent, the chaplain for the Pittsburgh Steelers, contact me, and he told me to do a vision gathering. So that's what I was preparing to do. And I don't know, just maybe it's partly my fault trying to do three projects at once, but I've done the best I could, and I will do better next time, or keep doing better. But anyway, so I finally, Mr. Matthews went to court with me the other day. It was just a plea day. I'm learning all these things. I've never been to court for something like this before, but I had to plead guilty or not guilty or whatever, no contest. And I said not guilty. I didn't do this on purpose. Didn't even know I was doing wrong by being tied here. And I had, especially when I had permission. And Mr. Matthews went with me to support me. And He was upset that they didn't just drop it, but I have to go back in January. So I couldn't leave because the love letter, Fish and Wildlife, left me on the side of my boat that says basically owner or anyone interested in this vessel contact, you know, because it's a derelict vessel, which it's not. But, once they put that sticker on, it's kind of like, welcome, pirates and outlaws, come take what you want. And then it really would be a derelict vessel. So I didn't get to go be with you know, family and friends for Christmas. And so I'm home alone, so to speak. But I'm thankful to be alive and basically still afloat and to have Jesus as the captain of my boat. Oh, did you see the dolphin over there? There's some dolphin. I love them. They're so sweet. There's one right there. Anyway, so it's been a weird experience. Weird last year. Um, and I'm sure we've all had weird things going on in our lives, but I'm ready to have family and friends around me again and to not spend holidays by myself. But I had to watch over my vessel to keep it from having more problems or I don't know. It's just, I assume that all this will come together. I saw a post by T.D. Jakes about your purpose. When you have a purpose, you're going to face giants. So I guess FWC is my giant right now. And I, I just, Trash told me that when I first came, this other guy, when I went to the public boat launch, he told me that people live aboard their boats are trash. People call him trash, and I ignored it when he sped by and knocked things off my dinghy that were on the top of it. When I had hauled some things out, he didn't know I saw him, but he denied it later, and I just forgave him and kept moving forward. And I forgave him when he said some other rude things and told me he didn't like where I was anchored because I was anchored a little bit out there. But there's a whole bay to go around. He likes to take his tours across over there. And but I was nice. I said, "Well, I'm going to be your neighbor. I mean, everybody has a dock or so, you know. I mean, I'm going to build docks later once I do everything in phases. You know, I've got to pay off the property first. You know, then I build a dock, and then build, the little outdoor kitchen and theater and gathering areas for people. You got to have bathrooms and stuff. And I'm off the grid. I've got solar, and the boat's kind of like a floating RV. I have holding tanks and things. And anyway, I forgave him for all that. And then he asked me 2 times before, like in May. He asked me how my anchor line was, and I told him it's fine because the military guy, special ops guy, had set my anchor. And then it just so happened the next month, uh, my anchor line was cut. Someone said, "Oh, it must have just frayed because you've been out there a while." I said, "No, I can show you the line. There's like a straight cut through half of the line, and then the rest frayed. I guess during the storm, the keep pulling on it, it just finally gave way." But anyway, whatever happened, I forgave and let it go. And then it was wild. One day I went up to the public boat launch, in the place where I always tie my dinghy just so happened to have a dead raccoon sitting next to it, and just straight underneath it. And I'm like going, "Oh, this is weird." But I guess all those things didn't work to scare me away. So the Fish and Wildlife issues the second, or the other thing. And then, of course, people had come on the island and tried to take dinghies and stuff, they use the excuse that, oh, we didn't know anybody lived there. I said, how do you not know anybody lives here when I had chairs out on the beach and I had signs up saying private property, but people lie. One day a guy came up and got on my swim deck and was coming aboard and I said, get off my vessel. You never aboard someone's vessel without permission. And he says, oh, I thought it was abandoned. I said, abandoned? It's tied to the trees. It has signs, It's like, how can you think it's abandoned, And he pretended like they were just over here going swimming. I'm like going, yeah, right. You coming to check out my boat and take something. And so I've had to be like a pioneer. I've had to protect myself, the island, and Crown Prince. And what an adventure. I'm learning a lot. And I'm nice, but I did tell him, you step aboard my yacht again without permission, boom, you're going to be meeting Jesus or get water baptized. So I've done my best to forgive and keep moving forward and do what God would tell me to do, but also am not going to let people run over me. There's a fine line. I'm sorry, I'm following these birds because it's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm a nature freak. So just want to say hi. I don't know if you can see me. And I don't like having to film like this. I like filming horizontally, but this is the way the thing works now. Thank you for letting me share. God bless you all. Thank you, Lord, for this day. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Jesus is the reason for the season. So Merry Christmas, and whatever trial you're going through, this too shall pass also. Merry Christmas, everyone.